Hello everyone, welcome to the session on Python Unit 4. In the last session, we understood the meaning of a variable declaration, that is, by assigning a value, the variable gets its type. And we saw how to print its respective type using the keyword type, that is function type, and the variable name. In today's session, we'll try to take it further. That is, we'll try to have a form of rules to declare a variable like we have in C. Similar kind of rules we have in Python also. Then what are the different keywords supported, expressions, and order of evaluation. To recap, we had coined a definition. It's an identifier, that is, variable is an identifier that refers to a value. An assignment statement creates a new variable and gives it a value. So if I say message equals a string, then it becomes my string type. If my n equals 21, it becomes an integer type, or pi becomes a float type when it is 3.14, and so on. So let us see what are the different rules that we can incorporate to form the variable rules. Now, what are the rules for a variable? They are similar kind of rules that we have in C. The variable names can be arbitrarily long here, whereas there is a restriction on the length of the names in C. They can contain both letters and numbers, but they cannot start with a number or a special character, similar to a C variable. That is, you cannot have a variable, for example, if I say 99 num, that's wrong, or question mark num, or hash num. So the special characters are not allowed. Uppercase letters are again allowed. So uppercase letters are treated differently than a lowercase letters. And the underscore can appear in the name. That is, it can even start before the variable name, or it can be part of the variable name. So these are the rules which are, as I said, similar to a C program. Now let us try to see what are the different keywords which are associated with Python. There are around 33 keywords in Python. Now this is the list of keywords. The green ones are most frequently used, that's why I marked them as green. We will be using these in the subsequent lectures. Let me categorize them. So if you look at the most acquainted ones or the known ones, break, why break is used, to break from a loop. Similarly, continue the loop with the next iteration. Then we have, for looping constructs, for loop and while. These are the only two loops which are available, because do while is not required. The do while can be easily simulated or emulated using while, or you can do the same work with the while, get the same work done. Then we have the if statement, then we have else part to that, plus we have elif, that is else if, which is another addition to the existing keywords. Apart from that, in C we had one for true, whereas in this case we have truv with T capital, indicating it's true. It's a boolean value. And falc false, that is F with F capital. Then we have a set of logical operators. In C we had double ampersand for and. Here we have the word itself, and, or, and not. And these are all alphabetically sorted, that's why you see the spread across. And apart from that, of course, there are other keywords which we'll be learning later in pass. Then there is as, return, and so on. From, global, non-local, none, and so on. If required, we can use them. Class refers to the class of that is object oriented programming if you're using, and so on. So with this understanding, understand what are expressions. An expression is a combination of values, variables and operators. That is, expression consists of the operators, operands and the constants. Here constants are nothing but the values and the variables are nothing but the operands. And operators, you very well know it, there are different sets of operators. Like in C we had arithmetic operators, logical operators, then we had relational operators, bitwise operators and so on. The similar kind of set we have here, wherein we have as far as the arithmetic operators are concerned, we have plus, minus, division which is a slash, then we have asterisk for multiplication, and percentage for modulus, that is nothing but the remainder, is also called as the modulus operator. So if you look at the examples here, x equals 10, x print x into 20, it prints 200, is absolutely valid or legal. And if I say x equal to 200, now further x equals x percentage 11, then I get a remainder after performing or division on x, whatever is remaining, and that is the value 2, which is indicated there. On further, we have an exponent operator which is indicated by two asterisk signs. And if I write x equals 2 and x exponent using this 2 asterisk with 5, it means that we are trying to raise 2 raised to 5, that is nothing but 32. So unlike C we had pow function, we need not write a function here, but we can make use of, that is using the asterisk itself. And further 28/5 is nothing but the division, but what kind of division is this? This is a floating point value division, that is whatever answer we get, the result we get is nothing but the value with decimal place, that is 5.6. Now if you look at the other example here, if I want only the integer part which is 5, then I should use 2 forward slashes, because here we don't have something called as explicit type casting, but since it does not have a type directly, whatever value is assigned itself becomes a type, so we need another operator called as forward slash. Return integer value after performing the division. In this case it will be only 5. So this is the understanding expressions are concerned. Now in this slide you can see there is a hash given there which indicates something, that it is explaining about these lines, and it is the comment. So hash is indicated by a comment and it is a single line comment. So let me just quickly go through what is the significance of comments. Look at comments. Comments play a very significant role or important role in case of programmers life. That is, whatever program he is writing, if the program is not well documented or well commented, then nobody will accept that program. And companies are very particular that a programmer should follow certain standards as far as naming conventions are concerned or documentation is concerned using comments and so on. The reason is very simple. If the programmer leaves the company tomorrow, then the next of the programmer who is going to take the charge and the role should be able to make sense out of the program what he has written. So overall what it means is the logic which is written can be well expressed by using the comments. And not only that, it helps the programmers to solve the errors or fix the bugs, and even as far as the maintenance part is concerned, it becomes very easy because the same code can be reused in other applications. So this is what is the significance of these comments, hence you should not ignore comments. More the comments it is better it is. Now we have of course the single line comment which is already indicated with hash here and in the previous slide also, program to read and so on. And we have multi-line comments also which can be indicated with three quotes, that is you can make use of three double quotes, 1 2 3 double quotes, and you can write multiple lines here and end it again with three quotes. So these are quite useful operators in terms of the comments, wherein you can convert the meaning of the operators, that as far as the symbols are concerned, as far as double quotes is concerned, or for that matter hash is concerned. So let us try to understand further how do we put everything at into one expression, and then we will try to evaluate. What I mean here is, I am talking certainly about the precedence, because in an expression where there are different operators and operands, now which operand or operator will be evaluated first? We need order of operations. When I say order of operation, you are again aware of the precedence rule that was used in C programming. We had the highest precedence to the parenthesis. And the same rule goes on, but we have a very beautiful acronym here, the short name for the order of evaluation, PEMDAS, PEMDAS, parenthesis, exponent, and multiplication, division, addition and subtraction. So when an expression has different operators, then which will be evaluated first? So in this case, for example, in parenthesis, 2 asterisk bracket 3 minus 1 is 4, because brackets will be evaluated first. 3 minus 1 is 2 and 2 into 2 is 4. This you know it very well. But in this case, now exponent has the next highest precedence, but it is again followed by a parenthesis. So parenthesis will be evaluated first, and then this, so it will be 2 raised to 3, that is nothing but 8. And the next level is the exponential, that has the next highest precedence. 2 asterisk asterisk 1 plus 1 is 3, not 4, meaning it is exponent will be evaluated first. 2 raised to 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3. Similarly, 3 into 1 raised to that is 3, 1 raised to 3. So 1 raised to 3 will be evaluated first. 1 raised to 3 is 1, into 3 is 3, and it is not 27. So I hope you have understood the exponent part. And similarly, we have multiplication and division here. 2 into 3 minus 1, so multiplication will be evaluated first, hence it is 5, not 4. Similarly, division is evaluated first here, and it is 4 divided by 2 is 2, 6 plus 2 is 8 and not 5. But if both the operators occur in an expression of the similar precedence, then we have what is called as evaluation from left to right, and that is the next example we have here. 5 minus 3 minus 1, both have the minus sign, that means both are at the same level, but it will be valid from the left. It will be 5 minus 3 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1 and not 3. So this is how the precedence rule plays. All that you have to remember is the PEMDAS rule, or whenever you are in doubt, the best thing you can do is put a put a parenthesis, and that's it. It will override all the other operators and it will evaluate the parenthesis first. So with this note, I believe you understood what we are trying to figure out. In the subsequent sessions, we will try to put across the code and try to practice them with different examples, incorporating the concepts that we have learned in this session. So let us end this session here, and we'll meet in the next session. So till then, have a safe day and a good day.